Another day, another story. I am pleased to present this 10-minute video on the history of Quebec and Ontario. It is no secret that these two provinces in Canada share a rich and diverse history that has influenced the nation we know today, as well as shape it. We will look at the early history of these provinces and how they impacted the rest of Canada in this video. We will look at key events in these provinces and how they had an impact. There has been a long and storied history between Quebec and Ontario, dating back thousands of years ago to the arrival of the first Indigenous peoples from this region. The Huron-Wendat, Algonquin, and Iroquois were just a few of the many nations that lived and thrived in these areas, including the Huron-Wendat, Algonquin, and Iroquois. There were two main powers in charge of the region, the French and the British. The French began exploring and setting up settlements in the region that is now Quebec in the 1600s. There was a fierce rivalry between the French and the British for control of the region, with the British ultimately gaining the upper hand in the late 1700s. In 1763, the British were formally granted control over the region as a result of a Treaty of Paris. Conflict and rebellion. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, tensions between the French-speaking population of Quebec and the English-speaking British colonial authorities boiled over into conflict, including the 1837-38 rebellions in both Upper and Lower Canada, now Ontario and Quebec. Confederation. In 1867, the British North America Act united the provinces of Quebec and Ontario, along with Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, into the Dominion of Canada. This marked the beginning of a new era of growth and development for these provinces and the nation as a whole. Economic growth. Over the next several decades, Quebec and Ontario experienced rapid industrialization and economic growth, fueled by natural resources and immigration. The development of industries such as manufacturing, forestry, and mining helped to transform these provinces into economic powerhouses. Cultural development. Along with economic growth, Quebec and Ontario also saw significant cultural development in the 20th century. Both provinces have a rich and diverse cultural heritage, with vibrant art scenes, music, and literature. Political landscape. In the latter half of the 20th century, Quebec and Ontario played key roles in shaping the political landscape of Canada. The Quiet Revolution in Quebec, for instance, saw the province undergo significant social and political change, while Ontario has often been seen as a bellwether for political trends in the rest of the country. Conclusion. In conclusion, the history of Quebec and Ontario is a rich and fascinating one, filled with conflict, growth, and development. These two provinces have played a major role in shaping the nation we know today, and their influence will continue to be felt for generations to come. Thank you for watching this 10-minute video on the history of Quebec and Ontario. We hope you found this information informative and engaging, and that you learned something new about these important provinces.